All right. I need you to pull out your onboarding sequence. We're about to talk about what needs to happen in the first 48 to 72 hours after your client pays you and what you might just be doing wrong, but also how you can fix it. So let's get into it. I want to share something with you all, though. I remember a few years ago when this is right around when hotels started to utilize what is called mobile check-in. If you ain't never used mobile check-in, listen, I love it. So essentially, instead of having to go to a hotel and check in, you're not having to go to the front desk and, give them all this information that you already gave them. You literally can take your phone, download the app, and check in before you ever get to the hotel. I remember the first time that I used this. You couldn't tell your girl nothing. I got off the plane, got dropped off at the hotel, walked in there like I was the queen. I saw the front desk. I was like, what's up? I just gave them my royal wave, like, hello. And so I got upstairs, got on the elevator, got to my room, and utilized my phone, checked right into the room, and got in. And I will never forget, it was the first time that I'd ever seen my name on TV, y'all. I thought I was famous. I was like, Hollywood, here I come. But they had the beautiful welcome. I believe it was the Hilton that I was at. Welcome to the Hilton Jaretta. And I was like, man, this was fantastic. Why? Not just because they personalized it and they made everything easy for me, but I realized that I didn't have to do the very thing that I hated. How many of you are right there with me? Like, you never like going to the front desk because there's always a wait. They're going to ask you all this information, your license. Can I have your credit card? Like, didn't I give you my credit card when I booked this thing? Okay. Especially if I already paid. I'm like, listen, you already charged me. Why do I need to show you my credit card? But I get it. I get it. Fraud is real and the people are crazy, right? And so you get to the hotel and you're not having to go through all these logistics. You just get to arrive and enjoy the experience. That's what we're talking about today. Making sure that when your client comes on board, they get to enjoy the experience. And so oftentimes what happens is coaches, they say, hey, I've got my onboarding. I have the welcome email. I've sent out the portal link. I've sent out all these other things, a to-do list, an intake form, etc., etc. But I hate to be the one to tell you, but I love you enough to tell you that that's just the logistics. That's just the onboarding. That's just the workflow. It's not the onboarding. The onboarding isn't about you and the logistics of the things that you need to get from the client. True onboarding is all about your client and confirming that they just made the right and the best decision to work with you. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm putting down. It's not about the logistics and the workflow. Yes, that's important. But onboarding, the content of what's happening in that process should be about confirming to your client that you are the coach for them and they're in the right place at the right time. So let's talk about two things that are typically done wrong when we're talking about onboarding our new coaching clients. The very first one, we've already gotten into it. So if you're taking notes, the first thing is that you don't want to make your onboarding process about you and what you need, your system, and everything that your team needs to get the job done. You want to make sure that it's about the person that's coming along for the ride. So number one mistake that I'm seeing that you don't want to do wrong is make it all about you. You got it? All right. Number two is you want to make sure that the thing that you're doing wrong is that you want to make sure that you're not just making it unintentional. You want to have a purpose. You don't want to just have a vague, hey, welcome to the Profitable Client Experience program. So glad you're here. If you could just go ahead, click here, get into the portal, and you can hop right in and I'll see you next week. There's no intentionality behind that. So you want to make sure, number one, that you're not making it all about you. And number two, you want to make sure that it's not unintentional. All right. All right. Hope you got that, because now I want to go to the other side. How to do it the right way. That's why you're here. So the very first thing you have to understand when you're building out your onboarding in the right fashion, you know that onboarding is the foundation. Your client has just made a vulnerable financial decision to trust you. And now you have to lay the foundation, because if you think about walking into any restaurant or any business, if they don't treat you right as soon as you walk in the door, if you stay, you're going to be doubting, like, this is ghetto. What's about to happen? I don't know if I want to be here. You're going to have all these thoughts running through your head because you're frustrated already before the service has even began. But when you walk into a place, and maybe a retreat or a resort, and you walk in and you have the team getting ready to give you your glass of champagne, or maybe you walk in and they're already ready to greet you and say, hey, we have your reservation ready. Here's the menu, and walk you to your table. That's how you want your clients to feel when they're coming, because your onboarding lays the foundation. All right. So number 2, we got that it's the foundation. Number 2, you have to know that you build your onboarding around where your client is emotionally. So every client, depending on the type of client that you serve, is going to be at a different space. If you're serving someone that maybe is a starter entrepreneur, it may be their first time investing in a coach, especially if you're higher ticket, maybe 5,000 or more, 10,000 or more, 15 and up. This may be their first big decision. Don't leave that unaddressed. You want to make sure that you understand that, because now when you know where they are emotionally, you can address that to be already proactive in your response when you're communicating with them. So you have to know your audience and be able to communicate and respond to where they are emotionally. You may be with a coach that's getting ready to scale their business. They've now gotten consistent in their business revenue, their business results. And you can say, hey, I know you are excited about scaling to the next level. You are ready to move over to that 6 figures. It can be scary, but don't worry, I got you. And so you want to be able to address the emotions of where they're going, because oftentimes when you're coming into onboarding, this is one of the highest anxiety moments in your process. It's not the moment before they pay. It's the moment after they swipe that card, ching, and now they're like, oh my God, I just spent it. And sometimes you even have buyer's remorse. And so you have to understand the emotions of your buyer type. All right. So number 1 is you want to make sure that you understand onboarding is the foundation. Number 2, making sure you know the emotional status of your buyer. And number 3, you want to make sure that you're setting expectations and excitement in the onboarding process. Because why? This is the moment that you confirm that this is the best, right decision for their next steps in their business or in their life. All right. So I want to talk to you about how do you actually go and fix this. Oftentimes, if you have a larger coaching program, you may not always be able to personalize the first touch. You may not be able to quote back to them something they shared with you on a sales call, or you may not be able to bring in something that's specific to them, especially if you don't have a team. So one of the ways that you alleviate that is you create a video, something that still feels personal, but addresses where the multitude is, okay? And so in this video, you want to have 3, everybody say 3 things inside of this video. The very first thing that you want to do, babe, before I get into it, can I actually share my method for this? I have a method that I like to call the den method. Now, I don't know about y'all, but growing up, I had the living room and I had the den. Now, the living room was a little formal. So, you couldn't do too much in the living room. But in the den, that's where you got to kick back, hang with the cousins, and show out a little bit. You got to be you. And so when it comes to video creation, I have what is called the den method. So let's talk about how you utilize that to create your onboarding video. So the D in den, write this down if you're taking notes, is for addressing the decision. You want to address the decision. So the D is for decision. So, hey, I'm so excited that you just invested in the profitable client experience. I know that this is the next step in scaling your business to 6 figures, and I'm excited to do this journey with you. So, some way to address the decision that they just made to work with you. E is you want to address expectations. Hey, over the next 12 weeks, we're going to be getting into XYZ or these systems. This you want to address what is the transformation that you promised. And then the N is for addressing the next steps. You want to let them know once you finish this video, this is what I need you to do. But you don't want to give them 5 steps, give them 1 to 2 steps. This is why I think it's important to have that start here module, because your 1 step can be, hey, next, I want you to click the link below. It's going to give you portal access and go ahead and get started in your start here module. So, you know what? I know all this sounds good. I want to actually show you what a video would look like. So let me actually just put one up here that I'll record specifically for you all as training. Here you go. Clap it up for yourself because you are officially locked into the Profitable Client Experience Accelerator. And I just have to tell you, you made the best decision for your business, because we're going to take what you've been using for just back-end organization to becoming one of your most profitable growth tools inside of your business. And I don't know about you, but that's exciting for me that I get to partner with you to build and develop your profitable client experience. So here's what you can expect over the next 12 weeks. We have a few things that we're going to be working through together. And so if you're taking notes, write these 3 things down. Number 1, live coaching sessions. Every Tuesday, we're going to get together for our live coaching and training sessions where I'm going to show you how to begin to build and develop out your profitable client experience, but also why elements are important, why not to do certain things, why you should really lean into other things, right? And so Tuesdays, every single Tuesday, we're going to meet together for our live coaching and training sessions. Second thing is our community accountability nights. Don't worry, all of this is going to be inside of your calendar, in the community as well as in your PCX portal. But the second thing is going to be our accountability sessions. And so this is where we get to come together as a community and actively work on the things that we talked about in our coaching and training sessions. All right. So live coaching, accountability nights, and the third, which is my personal favorite, if I must say, is our data dates. I call it data dates because we get to get personal with each other and really look at the data of what's happening inside of our coaching programs. What are the numbers saying? What was your show up rate for the month? What was your engagement? What was the transition and the testimonials like as people moved out? What's the pace in which you're moving your program every single month? And so we like to call them data dates. So those 3 things are what's going to be happening inside of your 12 weeks. Now, here's what I want you to do next. I want you to click the link inside of this email. That's going to take you straight to your PCX portal, Profitable Client Experience, of course. And inside that portal, you're going to see a Start Here module. I want you to start that module and walk through all the things that is walking you through and just getting you ready for our very first live session. So everything you need is going to be inside that Start Here module. And let me just let you know, if you have questions, if you need help with anything, you can drop your questions inside of the community or email us at thisisjustatest@gmail.com. And I will see you inside of our very first coaching session coming up soon. All right, so now you see an example of what an onboarding video should include. So you see I walked through each step of that DEN method, addressing the decision. I addressed the expectation, so gave them an idea of what it will look like over the next 12 weeks, that what's going to be included, and then I addressed the next steps. So of course, you customize it based on your coaching program, or if you're working with us and you're one of our clients, we're going to make sure that we walk you through and customize it based on your buyer type and the way that your program is overall designed. And so I'm excited. And the most important thing that I want you to walk away from this video is that onboarding is the foundation. It's not the beginning of the delivery process. It's the end of the sales process and the beginning of your client retention. So I'll see you on the next video. Talk to you soon.